Okay. Hi, my name's Mike Goodwin, and I'm love playing clawhammer style banjo. And from playing, I wanted to take the pride and build my own instrument. It's a 12-inch pot, 16 pieces of cherry wood, curly maple rim stick with a 5/16 diameter brass tone ring. And that just sits on top of the wooden pot, which is all pulled down.
Now, did you buy that tone ring, or did you make the tone ring as well?
Just made the tone ring. Just, I can't think right offhand, but it's around 38-inch piece of brass. Actually, I think it comes out to 37.699 inches long, which made a perfect 12-inch circle.
Okay.
And but you have to figure in a ½ inch overlap on each end, and then scarf the end of the brass, so when you bend it around, and I used a small steel rivet to hold it until I could braze it shut, and then more or less sanded it smooth.
Where do you get a piece of brass like that? Is it round when you get it, or is it square or flat? Or
no, it's just a round stock. They make it in all dimensions. I bought it over at a metal place in St. Louis, where I usually buy my metal pieces. And that's about it. Yeah, the scale is I used a 25 3/4 inch scale on this. And the formula, if you'd like to know that, for figuring the scale on any stringed instrument is you take the length of your scale. And this is for cutting the frets, because I cut all these frets by hand. And so this is being 25 3/4 inch from the nut to the bridge, and then you take and divide 17.830, I believe. I'm pretty sure on it, 17.830. You divide that into the scale, and that gives you a number, and that gives you your distance from the nut to the first fret. And then you subtract that distance from your scale, and you just continue the process over and over and over. Subtract the 17.830 from the scale again, and that'll get your next distance, and so on to cut all the frets.
And I guess if you're like most musicians and can only count to 4, then you could order one of these fingerboards with the slots already cut in it?
Well, Stuart Mac, they offer a fretboard, but it's only in one scale, which is it's the White Lady, and I believe that's 26 3/16.
Okay.
It's the only scale they offer, which I wanted a little bit shorter scale. I have I like the 25 1/2 inch scale, and this is 25 3/4. Just has a mellow sound.
Okay.
Started by using a 3/4 inch thick, 5-inch wide, 60-inch long piece of cherry wood to make the pot. It's 16 pieces of wood cut out on a scroll saw and then stacked like you would like a bricks of a house, so to help hold each one together. They're all glued together inside a 12-inch brake drum with a makeshift disc to cover the glue all the wood at one time inside the brake drum, which would make it secure.
How long did you have to let the glue dry?
I used tight bond wood glue, and it was just overnight.
Okay.
And I've never had a problem with it. The neck is just it's more or less my own rendition. There's several different types, but it's curly maple, and I made the neck out of a 3x3 square piece of curly maple, and I had enough wood to make the rim stick out of the same piece of wood. Dobson style heel on the neck of the banjo, which is probably 1880s, I believe, late 1800s.
Turn it around so we can kind of get a better view of it. Yeah, it's very big and rounded. And who likes to use that?
Chuck Lee, banjo maker from Avillo, I think it's Avillo, Texas. I have one of his banjos and I love it very much. And but he uses the Dobson style heel.
Is there an advantage to that you know of?
No, just a look, just something different.
Okay.
You know. It's got a 25 3/4 inch scale.
Is that normal?
Any scale. What I've been told is the shorter scales are kind of more closer to fiddle music, and for playing solo you'd want a longer scale for just playing by yourself, which I do because I play by myself. And then the neck is scooped out. All the metal parts came from Stuart McDonald in Athens, Ohio. And I figure the cost of the wood, the synthetic skin, tuning pegs, and everything, I have probably around $240 in this, building this from scratch.
Now you told me about something interesting that you did with the string spacing.
I have my ends of my fingers are kind of flattened out. I have a lot of a fleshy end of my fingers. So the normal spacing is 5/16 of an inch between the strings, so I made it 3/8 of an inch. To give a little extra spacing, it helps me a little bit, being with everybody's hands are a little different.
And I guess everything is the same down at the bridge end?
Yeah, it's just a standard. It's a pretty high bridge, and like I said, it's clawhammer style. So I'm just a beginner, and I know about 6 more or less baby tunes. Nothing fancy, not a whole lot of hammers or pull-offs, but I'm just a student of it, and I think you never stop learning. So
That's
I've been
right.
playing for about 2 years.
That's fantastic.
So,
Thanks.
oh, you're welcome.